And then what is also interesting about leadership, which is why it's not about power, it's not about skills, it's not about talent. Your attitude in leadership is the most important, the attitude. So what is attitude? So you can say that if you look at people that play sport, they'll say our attitude today, my attitude is that I always win. You find sports people that speak like that. I always win. So what it means that they're always inclined to winning. Okay. So you find that in leadership, attitude is 80%. If the right attitude is brought into High Life Foundation by Dr. Mubaiwa, by Mrs. Masiwa, by Miss Tanya, by ZK, by Miss Faithful, by Mrs. Juru, by Cynthia in Burundi, by Kaibe in Lesotho, as they walk into the organization, the attitude is in. Are they walking in to really show that they're full of the desire, the passion to serve? Because that alone rallies the team, okay? Because attitude is contagious, okay? Attitude is contagious. Attitude determines an organization. So at High Life Foundation, one of the things that we do is that every Friday, we've got a staff meeting that takes place between 1 o'clock and 2 o'clock. Sometimes we do it at 12 o'clock until 1 o'clock. We've got Mrs. Masiwa there, Miss Tanya there, myself, ZK, the whole of the High Life Foundation family. Sometimes we come there, wearing funny hats, funny outfits, just to gel, to just appreciate one another, to build this attitude of saying, you know what, we appreciate what everybody's doing. The education department, it brings through its successes, the health department comes to talk about that, the marketing department. So everybody is sharing, but the whole idea behind it is that we want the attitude in the organization to be an attitude that is, a leader-driven attitude, a serving leader-driven attitude. We want to win. We want to win for you. We want to win for your community. We want to win for your school, for your university. We want to win for your college. We want to win for your polytech. We want to win for the Funvuza that we're doing. We want to win for the hospitals where we're working. We want to win. What is winning for us? It is when we are making sure that the things that we want to take place are taking place, and lives are being served, or scholarships are being given. People are receiving a platform where they're now shining, they're doing all they can. The video that we just saw of how High Life Foundation came into, someone's life, somebody was depressed, things are not going well. There arrives High Life Foundation, and what happens? Voila, the attitude we bring changes. Okay, so attitude is very, very critical, okay? I make it a point that, I have to bring my best game every time I'm coming to meet with my team. So most of the time in High Life Foundation, departments have meetings on Mondays. I always want to make sure that I'm coming in there to really excite my team for the week. Everybody must be really ready to go and get, all the things that we had planned to do. We want to be successful in them. We set goals together, we set tactics together. We are always conscious of who's doing what. Because what attitude does as well is that it builds confidence, not only in the leader, but in the team. Okay. And then what's very, very important is that attitude is based on my belief system. Okay. Attitude is based on my belief system. So here's how we deal with that in High Life Foundation. You all know that we're a faith-based organization. You all know that we're a faith-based organization. So what does it mean? We start the day with prayer. We go to the source of attitude. The one who said, "Let there be light." I think there was a massive smile on God's face the day he said, "Let there be light." and light was excited to be there. Okay, so that's what we are in High Life Foundation. We start off the day with prayer. Okay, 6:30, we're praying until 7, and then there's a whole group of Econet. We do another prayer session, 7 o'clock until 7:45, and then for every meeting that we have, we kick it off with a prayer. We are faith-based, but what we are doing by connecting with the source is that we're building ourselves up with the true attitude of God. We bring the true attitude of God into the work that we're doing. So our belief in God allows us to get into meetings, into projects, into activities, fully aware that we're not on our own. Fully aware that, you know what, we're going to be successful. Even if we challenge that particular moment, we are convinced that we're going to be successful. Okay, so attitude is very important. And then the other thing about attitude, you know, there's power in attitude. There's power in attitude, all right? Because, you know, no one can live beyond the limits of someone's beliefs. No one can live beyond the limits of someone's beliefs. You know, one of the things that I always love to say about, you know, our patrons, you know, Mr. Masiwa, Mrs. Masiwa, you know, I always say this, that there's this love of going for what is audacious. You know, the goals that we always set, you know, it's always audacious goals, right? Audacious goals. You know, you call them the big, hairy, audacious goals. You know, things that it's always about how can we really move the needle rather than just doing a little bit. How can you really move the needle? So for you to be able to rally a team that can be with you to move a needle, big movement in a needle, you know what? You really have got to have power that is coming out of the attitude that is with you. Okay, because if Mrs. Masiwa comes to us and she's sounding doubtful, all of us will get doubtful. I'll go to my team and my message will also be doubtful. You know, our group CEO will go to the whole and he will bring through a doubtful message. But because a faith in God, which is another value for Allah Foundation, faith in God. If faith in God is beyond the Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego faith in God. So for those of you who read your Bibles, you know, King Nebuchadnezzar, after finding out that Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego are refusing to bow down to this, you know, golden statue that he had put up, he was so angry, he was so mad. And he said, you know what? I'm going to teach these Jewish boys a lesson. He told his guys that go and heat up the furnace, not twice as hot, not 3 times as hot, but 7 times as hot. Go grab them, bind them, and throw them into the furnace, because I want to see if their God, the one that they are believing in and trusting in, I want to see if that God is going to be able to help them out. So what I'm saying to you is that Mrs. Masiwa, her faith is beyond. So Nebuchadnezzar will have to not only heat it up 7 times, he will have to heat it up 14 times. And then what do? We just rally behind because of the power of the attitude. Because she's unlimited, and she has also made us feel so unlimited. And what I'm asking for you to do today is to realize that you yourself, you're unlimited. Let's go back to what I got you to write down. I asked you, I said, your deepest fear is not that you are inadequate. Your deepest fear is that you are powerful beyond measure. So it is your light, not your darkness, that frightens you. But with the teachings we get from Mrs. Masiwa, with the kind of approach we now have in High Life Foundation, our light doesn't fear us. We're not as afraid of our light anymore. We're excited to see light. We're excited to run towards more light. Because you and I are required for us to really have the God life. And the God life requires us to not be afraid of that, not be afraid of ourselves, but to be really out there. You know, for me, I'll be honest with you, my leadership level is catapulted. The things that I now believe in, the things that I believe are possible. You know, we are connecting you to High Life Foundation because of a couple of things that I just want to highlight as well. We believe that come 2050, Zimbabwe will be a $250 billion economy minimum. At that level, oh my God, running water in our rural areas, proper sanitation in our rural areas, proper sanitation in our cities, education with the best quality that you can think of, you can dream of, employment, young people putting up businesses, you know, such employment will be exporting, will be a hub for Africa. A lot of things happening because of our prosperity, helping other nations to be prosperous. That's 2050. So at this point, let me ask you to do something. In your notebook, I know you're writing notes ferociously. So in your notebook, I want you to write your age right now. So you write 2021, and then you write equals, and then you put your age. Okay, can we do that? 2021 equals, then you put your age. Okay. 2021 equals your age. After that, I want you to write 2030 equals your age. And then after that, you write 2050 equals your age. Let's do that. Right. So if you are 10 years old today, okay, so you add 10 by 2030, right? You're 20. By 2050, you add 30, all right? So I just want you, by 2030 you add 20, then you're 40, right? Yeah, you'll be 40. So what I want you to do is just close your eyes a little bit. Just close your eyes a little bit. And then you ask yourself, okay, can you see 2030 through your age? Okay, so if you're 30, what's happening around you? What does Zimbabwe look like? What does where you live look like? Where you live, what does it look like? If by then you've got a family, how many children do you have? If you've got children, which schools are they going to? Can you visualize the schools? All right, let's go to 2050. How old are you in 2050? Can you close your eyes and see Zimbabwe in 2050? If you can't do that, if you're battling to even do that, I can understand. If you're battling, I can understand. Because you probably have never done it before. You probably see so many bad things around you, so many things that you feel are not going right around you. So you can't even contemplate anything that could be better.